Boys and girls, welcome back to another video by yours truly. And you know, we've cracked a lot of jokes about the Genshin Impact anime due to the egregious timeline that people have been highly anticipating and awaiting its release date. I've cracked a couple of jokes. I always throw the same joke out. I'm like, we've been waiting on this longer than we've been waiting on Luffy to find the One Piece treasure in One Piece. And many people, I believe, rightfully so, have begun to like lose hope or did lose hope entirely. In fact, a lot of people just started making fun of people who still think the anime is coming. Well, we just got news today from some type of Genshin Impact festival over in China where the devs themselves confirm the anime is in fact still coming, and they do explain in detail what's going on. Well, I'm not gonna say they explain in detail, but they give enough information, which we're gonna go over that in just a bit. But before we do, you might be asking yourself, what is the holdup? This anime was announced over 3 years ago. Why are they taking so long? What could possibly be causing this massive delay? Well, I would say one of the big factors is anime in and of itself takes a long time to develop. But not only does anime take a long time to develop, you also have to take into consideration Hoyoverse and the ridiculous amount of projects that they keep taking on to themselves. We've got Genshin Impact, Honkai Star Rail, Zenless Zone Zero, Honkai Impact the Third, and now they're developing new games, Honkai Impact the Nexus and Varsapura, and then some other game that's like an Animal Crossing game or so on and so forth. And so there's a lot of production pipelines overlapping, paralleling, it's a lot of shit going on, right? And so we set that to the side. That's like priorities. Those are like bigger priorities than the anime adaptation, whereas the anime adaptation is more of like a prestigious endeavor, if you will. They want to get it done, but they don't have a time. They don't have like deadlines. They got plenty of money to spare. It doesn't need to get done right then and there. But if we set that aside and then we go to the right-hand side is Ufotable. They didn't choose to just work with any goddamn run-of-the-mill studio. They literally chose Michael Jordan. They chose to work with what is considered to be the most renowned studio in anime history. One of them, and honestly, I don't even think it's a debate, that makes the highest quality, most visually orgasmic anime adaptations known to mankind. We're talking about Demon Slayer, right? A lot of people dog on Demon Slayer's story, but then everybody still loves it because of just how fucking good it looks. We're talking about Fate Stay Night Unlimited Blade Works. That's another huge project that is under their cuff. This studio works on, like I said, some of the best looking animes out there. And so they're very busy, especially with right now their ongoing projects, which is Demon Slayer. And so Hoyo is trying to find their schedules in alignment with them to make sure that works. This is just me like talking about what's going on behind the scenes and what could be the potential holdup. All of that makes much more sense to me in terms of why the Genshin Impact anime hasn't been released yet. And there's been like hush lips and so on and so forth. That said, let's take a look at well, let's just hear it straight from the horse's mouth so that you guys could see I'm not making this up. This isn't clickbait. It is very much real. The dev himself confirmed it. And no, they're not fucking lying. A dev is not going to get on live television and literally lie about something like this. All right, here we go. I'm going to let it play through and I'll translate for you guys. Actually, for our development team, how do I say this? Just like what Mao Lao Shi said compared to launch in version 1.0, the content's now 3 times more, maybe even more than that. There's certain contents where not only, oh, that went by too fast. The time it takes to polish them and also much longer as well. He's basically talking about the development time of Genshin Impact. For example, like certain camera work during dialogues, including some voice acting, including what Yang Ming Lu Lao Shi said that day where we have to re-record certain lines. So very early on, we had to carry out a marathon-like version development. It's multi-track marathon-like version development. Like for shorter version, people would think, 6 weeks per version. It's not like that. It's actually shorter versions would take about half a year. Shorter versions would take half a year. Longer versions might need a year and a half. I actually want to take a quick break. This has nothing to do with my video, but I wanted to comment on this. If you've been a Smack viewer, then you've heard me talk about this plenty of times. In fact, you've heard me meme that like I'm always like roasting these people who are like, yeah, what do you want them to do? They only have 6 weeks to work on it, man. They're doing the best they can or whatever. And I'm always like, guys, they're not fucking like, they're not going up until the final second and going, you've probably seen me do this before. We made it, guys. We made it. Now we got to battle another 6-week cycle. I've said this many times. All the patch updates that you're receiving, they are being worked on in tandem across a massive pipeline. a production pipeline with parallels and overlapping teams, all doing different tasks from different facets of the development. Right, you got the voice acting, you've got the landscaping, and then you've got the audio as well as the music that's going to hit that world. Then you've got concept writers, so on and so forth. But these are all different teams that are knocking out these tasks well before you even hear about the patch. Like well before you hear about the patch. And so by the time the 6-week cycle gets there, they're ironing out and they're finishing up the loose ends and stuff. They're polishing things up. They're making sure everything is running smoothly. They're putting things in that can be done within a 6-week cycle, like events and mini events and shit like that. And basically like little last minute changes. But they're not working 6-week schedules from scratch, making the fucking cake from scratch, guys. That's just not how it works. A lot of this stuff gets done well in advance. I just wanted to make sure that was explained, because so many people seem to, not a lot of gullible gacha players think these guys are doing all of this in 6 weeks. So that's another thing that was cool from this. It might need 7, 18, 19, or maybe even 20 months. So everyone's probably seen some sci-fi movies before, right? Those of us who move back and forth within the pipeline of doing concept designs and revisions are a bit like, well, something like 4-dimensional creatures. 4-dimensional beings in our case. The time scale is something very tangible. It unfolds in a very concrete 2-dimensional way. Like, I can simultaneously observe the progress across multiple timelines. There's 1 month, 3 month, half a year, and a year more after. So you guys are true history. And so some things that can happen in that particular instance is they've got voice actors recording their lines 1.5 years before the patch even comes out that they recorded the lines for. That's an example, right? And so then you speed up and you get kind of closer to the patch and they start looking at how things are lining up. Maybe they want to change up how a story's going to unfold. Maybe fucking the geopolitical climate is changing and China and Japan are going at it. And they're like, oh shit, all right, change that line to make this suit this, change that. Things like this can happen, which can alter the final product, if you will. I'm too lazy to type out the joke here. Sorry. All right, here's the part, boys. You mentioned just now that certain versions might take 1.5 years to develop. First of all, the guy that right here is fucking awesome. Watch, you'll see why. Or maybe even longer. It takes a long time for you to do those things. But now that I think about it, Genshin has another project that's been taking a while. It's 4 words. Genshin Impact animation. Well, that's 3 words, but it's probably 4 words in Chinese. So he literally put this guy on the spot. Said there's something else been taking a long ass time. You know what I'm talking about? It starts with 3 words. Genshin Impact animation, bucko. All right. I thought I was the only blabbermouth here in the venue, but I never thought today is a pair of blabbermouths. But I'll tell you guys the truth. It's in the works. Rest assured, it's in the works. There's no unexpected issues, no instability. Everything is progressing steadily. It's progressing steadily. And so there you go, guys. And I think with this in mind, we could probably actually, I do want to go back and watch the Genshin Impact anime so that you guys could see what it looked like. It was announced, like I said, over 3 years ago. In case you're thinking like, yo, Smack, I thought you were like done with Hoyoverse. Brother, I'm done with Hoyoverse games. Hoyoverse anime, I would never be done with. In fact, anybody who knows me, I will tell you straight up, one of my favorite things to do is to react to Hoyoverse trailers. You can catch me reacting to some of my most viewed content on the fucking platform is Hoyoverse trailers. I love their adaptations. In fact, the biggest problem I have with Hoyoverse storytelling is that it's not enough cutscenes. It's not enough adaptation form, because I love the stories they tell through that methodical approach of delivering or presenting the story, because they do such a good job. I would say the biggest problem with Hoyoverse storytelling for a lot of people is it's a massive fucking exposition dump, a lot of yapping, and not enough showing. And so I feel like 95% of the problems that a lot of people have with Hoyoverse storytelling would be wiped to fucking away in adaptation form. I think a lot of people who don't even play Genshin Impact anymore and quit the game and will never play the game again will watch the fuck out of the anime, because the thing is, Hoyoverse does an excellent job with world building and lore. They just do a shit job, in my personal opinion and many other people's personal opinions, in terms of presenting that story, its concept, the plots, and all this jazz in a manner that is palatable to other people outside of the Genshin Impact sphere. So that said, a anime adaptation, I would imagine everybody would be on board and is rooting for it to come out. Why the fuck would you not want an anime adaptation to come out? The only way, like the only thing I can think of is that you have such a deep hatred in your heart for Hoyoverse, which I mean, I'm gonna be real. I think at this point you've just gotten a bit toxic. You need to get off the internet. But it's to the point where you're not even thinking rationally. Like there's no downside of you getting a new anime to watch with fucking Ufotable on board and a company with pockets as deep as Hoyoverse. This is not a gacha game. This is pure blown free entertainment for you to enjoy, if you get what I'm trying to say. And so, yeah, I think this would be a net W even for the gacha space. I think this would be actually helping the gacha space because I think so many people would watch that anime that it would bring even more eyes back into the gacha space, even into Genshin Impact, and this would be like a second win, so on and so forth. It's exciting stuff. It's literally exciting fucking stuff, guys. That's all I'm saying. Let's go over here. Oh, also, and I want you to think about it, if Genshin Impact anime comes out, you know Hoyoverse love their fucking world building. They love what they have created to the point where they just keep creating it over and over. I love you in every universe. It's to the point now where you could see Honkai Star Rail get dipped inside of that universe. You could see their other games participate in this adaptation as well. And so once again, I thought it would be pretty cool. But here's the anime over 3 years ago. In case you're somebody who never saw it, it's the biggest teaser of all time. But in case you're wondering. By the way, I think I was still playing Genshin Impact when this got announced. And I'm pretty sure like me as well as the entire fucking community lost their shit when they saw that Ufotable UFO table. X Hoyoverse. I mean, that's an insane fucking studio. Like, and of course Hoyoverse's deep ass pockets would announce that. Unfortunately, Paimon is absolutely going to be in the story. Can you imagine seeing Mona's cheeks in adaptation form? See, I'm an OG Genshin Impact player. I'm thinking about the OG characters like Mona, like Eula, like Jean. That looks good. That almost looks like Lord of the Rings. Put an Eye of Sauron back there, bro. There you have it. They was not lying about this part, boy. Long term, okay? Long term project launch. But like I said, I think, once you take in everything I presented, it makes perfect sense. If you ask me in terms of a release date, I would say 2027. I'd say 2027. That would be pretty much about the 5-year mark. There's no way it would take any longer than that. At 2027, Ufotable will be done with Demon Slayer by then as well. Demon Slayer will absolutely be finished. So this will be the window for Hoyoverse and Ufotable to really lock the fuck in. And that would be before 2027 right now. It'd be during this year. Lock in, and then you get an announcement probably midsummer, somewhere around there. Be crazy if I'm right on the money right when they announce it. That's going to wrap up this video. Hopefully you guys got some insightful news. I'm sure Genshin Impact players are excited about it, but you know what? I feel like ex-Genshin Impact players would be excited about this too if you don't have if you're not one of those people that holds on to grudges and shit. You know what I'm saying? I don't know.